Hey, it's Scotty. I want to take a moment to tell everybody to be careful out there with this extreme cold that's happening all around the country and in many parts of the world. There has been extreme cold weather, so I just want to take a second to wish everybody to be safe, to remind everybody to be careful, to be prepared, whether that is with extra food or you've got a generator that's charged or whatever you think that you need to be prepared in case of a power outage or anything having to do with this extreme cold. Just take it very, very seriously. And as you can see, I've got my really awesome Southern California guinea pig rescue hoodie that's keeping me nice and warm. I will put a link in the description if you want to support the SoCal Guinea Pig Rescue and get yourself a nice warm hoodie. It actually is really nicely made. It's got a really cute graphic and it's very, very soft and very warm. And I'm really happy that I've got this so that I can stay nice and cozy. So I wanted to talk about changes in weather and how that may affect our piggies, the changes in the seasons and what we can do to counteract that, because a lot of people will notice that their piggies seem to get sick, or they sneeze a lot more, or they succumb to respiratory illnesses, or maybe they're just not acting like themselves during these change in the seasons, when it starts to get colder, or when the spring comes, or when it goes from spring to summer. Every change in the season, BB, where'd you go, brings a different weather. Hey, what are you doing back there? You better not poop on this thing. But you know what? My piggies, they barely even know that there's a change in the weather. And I'll tell you what I've done to keep them nice and cozy and feeling good year round. So I live out here in the Mojave Desert of California, and it is really dry, especially in the winter, but pretty much year round it is dry. And in the summer, it can reach temperatures, it can reach temperatures of 117, I think is the warmest. And in the winter, it gets down well below freezing. BB, here, you go back here. So what do I do in the winter, and what do I do in the summer, and what am I doing to keep my piggies comfortable all year? Well, first off, you can't know what to do unless you know what the conditions are. So I recommend you get yourself a couple tools, a large analog thermometer with a humidity gauge. So I've got one right here. You can take a look at it. I'll show you what it looks like right here. And it's just got really big, you left a feather here, BB. It's got really big numbers so that I can see from a glance across the room what temperature. Right now, we are 72, 71 degrees, and we are right at 40% humidity. And it's important to know where you are to know where you want to be. Now, I want to keep this room between 65 and 75 degrees at all time. And I want to make sure that the humidity is above 30% and generally below 50% makes it the most comfortable. Around 40, 45, 50, that's where I want it to be. And so I'm right in the sweet spot, so I don't have to do anything right now. When you have this many cages and this many piggies, and there's a lot of fresh hay that's coming in and out, and so even on the driest days, on an extremely dry day, it might get down to 25 or 30, and I will kick that humidifier on. Actually, early in the winter, late in the fall, when it was really, really windy, it seemed to get really dry for a couple weeks. I had that humidifier going on all the time. I had it set to about 45, and that, because it was so dry, it was constantly working and constantly trying to get it up to that percentage of humidity. By the way, my humidifier, which I will show you, my humidifier is also a smart humidifier, and what that means is it can be connected to the phone. It can be connected to the Wi-Fi. If I'm gone, I can check and see what the temperature and the humidity is in the room, and I can adjust and I can turn it on and off from my phone wherever I am. And I recommend you also get a thermometer that can do just that. So back here I have this little thing. It's a smart thermometer, and it just tells me what the humidity and what the temperature is, and so I can check in. But I also have a camera right here, so when I'm gone, I look at the camera's pointed at the thermometer and the humidity gauge, and so I know what the temperature and the humidity is in this side of the room and on that side of the room. And to much expense, I also went for the mini split, which is the air conditioner and the heater, and that has a thermostat that I can set. So that's how I'm keeping the temperature regulated all year round. And I definitely recommend that you have a humidifier or a dehumidifier. If you live in a place that's really humid, a dehumidifier can make things really, really comfortable. Now, bigger is better when it comes to humidifiers and dehumidifiers, because the bigger they are, generally the more water they'll hold. If you are adding water to the air, then that means you have to fill it less. And if you are taking water out of the air, then that means you'll have to dump it less. So either way, that means maybe you can go for a day or two or longer without having to change it. So that's something to keep in mind. I made a dedicated video about the humidifier I use. I'll put that right here, so check that out. And if you do use the link in the description of that video, it really does help me, the channel, and all my rescue and foster and volunteer efforts. So thank you so much for considering to do that. Something else that I like and I use often, especially in conjunction with my humidifier, is the air purifier. I use that as a way of just pushing the air around, but it also cleans the air. And my air purifier is also a smart purifier, so I can check the quality of the air from anywhere using my phone, which during fire season is actually really gives me a lot of peace of mind. Just the fact that I have to say fire season while I am in California, and I don't want to be volunteering at the rescue and there's a fire and I'm worried that my piggies are breathing in smoke or that there's smoke nearby. So I definitely recommend having a air purifier, a humidifier, and a dehumidifier if you think you need it, and gauges to be able to tell what the actual temperature and humidity is in the room. Now, all of these items are going to have their own gauges, so the humidifier is going to tell you what the humidity in the room is, but it's basically going to tell you what the humidity in the room right next to or part of on that humidifier is. So you might want to put a thermometer with a humidity gauge across the room so that you can see that that humidity, that moisture that you're adding to the air is actually making it to the other side of the room. So that's what I do. Let me know in the comments, what do you do to keep your piggies nice and comfortable year round? And if you do see symptoms of a respiratory infection or anything like that, any symptoms of common illnesses, you don't want to ignore those. You want to take your piggies to the vet, especially if that means that that gets them on the road to recovery faster. It's just absolutely essential. So check out my free guinea pig care guide. Check out my website. I've got a worldwide vet list, and I really hope that this helped. This gets you thinking and gets your piggies feeling comfortable year round. All right, until next time, thanks for watching.